Every single time you log on, send an email, or watch a video, you're navigating a world that's run by these, invisible rules. And they aren't just suggestions. They're actual, powerful laws that shape our entire digital lives. So let's pull back the curtain on this digital rulebook and figure out what it all really means for you and me.
So just stop and think about it for a second. When you're just browsing around online, who's actually got your back? What really stops someone from swiping your data or getting into your accounts? It feels like this huge, complicated question, but, it turns out the answer is a lot more straightforward than you'd think.
In the UK, it all comes down to three key laws that act as your online safety net. You've got the Data Protection Act, the Computer Misuse Act, and the Copyright Act. Now, each one has a totally different job, but when they work together, they form this kind of digital shield, a shield that protects your information, your devices, and even your own creative ideas. So let's dive in and break down what each one actually does.
All right, first up, let's talk about something we all have, and let's be honest, we all worry about protecting: our personal data. And yeah, I'm talking about everything from the obvious stuff like your name and address to the more behind-the-scenes things like where you've been clicking online.
This is exactly where the Data Protection Act, or the DPA for short, comes into play. Its whole idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It basically looks at every organization out there, from the biggest social media giants to your local bookshop, and says you have to be responsible with people's information. It's not some data free-for-all. They have to follow a very strict set of rules.
And here's the part I think is so important. This law gives the power back to you. First, it says your data has to be kept safe and used fairly. No sneaky business allowed. Second, companies can't just hoard your data forever. Nope. Once they don't need it anymore, they've got to get rid of it. And maybe the biggest one of all, you have the right to go to any company and ask, "Hey, what information do you have on me?" And if it's wrong, they have to fix it. That's your right.
Okay, so that's our data covered. Check. But what about the actual device you're on right now? Your phone, your laptop? What's protecting them from a more direct kind of attack?
Well, that is the job of the Computer Misuse Act. Think of this one as the digital police force. It draws a very clear line in the sand and makes it absolutely flat-out illegal to use a computer to commit a crime. This is the law that has real teeth when it comes to punishing things like hacking or spreading viruses.
So the first big no-no it covers is hacking. We all throw that word around, but what it means legally is just getting access to something you're not supposed to. Getting into someone's email, their social media accounts, a private server. If you don't have permission, it's hacking. Simple as that. Even just guessing a password correctly and getting in counts.
But then, the law takes it up a notch. See, it's one thing to just get in. It's a way more serious crime to get in because you intend to do something else, like steal money or personal data. That little word, intent, makes all the difference.
And finally, the Act covers deliberate damage. This is all about causing chaos on purpose, unleashing a virus, deleting critical files, or messing with a system just to make it crash. It's basically digital vandalism, and yeah, it's a major crime.
All right, so we've protected our data. Check. We've protected our devices. Check. What's left? Well, what about all the stuff we create and share and enjoy online? I'm talking about the music, the photos, the software, even the lines of code that make our favorite apps work.
And that leads us to our third and final law, the Copyright Act. Its whole purpose is to protect something called intellectual property. It sounds a little formal, I know, but all it really means is the stuff people create using their minds. That song you love, that app you use every day, that amazing photo you saw. This law is what says the person who created it owns it.
You can think of it like a two-way street. On one side, it protects the creators. It's how they get paid for their hard work, right? It's why authors get money for their books and musicians for their songs. But on the other side of the street, it places a responsibility on us. It makes it illegal to just copy, share, or download that stuff without getting permission first.
So we've looked at 3 different laws, all doing 3 different jobs. It's a lot to take in. But why does it all matter so much? Let's put the whole puzzle together.
When you step back and look at them together, you can see how these 3 laws create your own personal digital shield. The Data Protection Act is there to guard your personal information. The Computer Misuse Act is there to guard your actual devices. And the Copyright Act, that guards the things you and others create. Each one protects a vital piece of your world online.
But that leaves us with one last massive question. A lot of these laws were written for an internet that looks very different from the one we use today. And with technology like AI that can create incredible art and write code all by itself, you have to wonder,
Are our old rules really enough? If an AI makes a masterpiece, who owns it? What's the next big piece of that digital shield we're going to need for the world of tomorrow? It's definitely something to think about.